of die sein.
Jy sal vir jou sal hoor.
Met jou
Hy sal hoor as hy tot die disturbance sit. Nou ek het nie wanneer sy ek sê. My vriend sal ons nou lei met gesprek. Prachtig. Kijk maar hierdie van sy. Ja.
Asai, goeiedag en welkom hier by Farmspace. Ons praat 'n bietjie daar meer in die Kaap. Dan vir die wat nog nie weet nie, Aie de Tooi, al die pad uit die Kaap uit. Die lekker wêreld, waar die wyn en die vrugte ewe lekker is. En dan natuurlik die man van die oomblik, Derek, wat veiling hou. En dan ou man, ook al in my wêreld, oom Jan, ons die langs my, de Jong. En ons gaan lekker gesels oor die bees. Die man weet meer van bees af as meeste van ons. So, kom ons luister saam en geniet hom saam met ons. Foreign listeners.
Completely different type of animal. I see the bull doesn't agree with me, but anyway, when we first had the limousines in South Africa, they were a completely different type of limousine. They were very, very muscular. They were shorter. Some of them didn't walk very well. Some of those cows, I think Derek will agree, some of those cows had temperament problems. They couldn't move. They were very short. They were very dumpy. Some of them had, in all honesty, they had dreadful udders. But over time, the South African breeders have improved them a lot. When the price of minis went up, we also found out that it takes a lot of money to feed an animal that's over strong or over muscular, to put some fat onto it. So we have changed the type of limousine we've got in South Africa now to a much smoother type of limousine. These will be the excellent carcasses that we can actually supply to the international market. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does quite a bit. I just stuck there for a minute on how we've changed the breed in South Africa, and I think a lot of people can go home or at home can sit and just go and look on how different the limousine look over here than you see the ones that you see in the UK. I think I saw a picture yesterday, one bull going for a very high price. I was looking and thinking, yeah, that would not even go into a commercial market over here.
Bit of fat on it, and I'm afraid that those cows that they have there, those suckler cows, they are not functionally efficient for our circumstances. Over here, our cows have to be able to walk, they have to be able to survive in hot and droughty conditions, for example, in Botswana and places like that. But from that point of view, the cows that we are producing now are feminine, they can produce and they can walk, and cost.
For the, I think, about 21, 22 years that we were involved. I'd say the last 5 to 6 years definitely different. We saw influx of new people into the breed. Our breed moved borders quite a bit as the breed progressed and moved upwards into sub-Saharan Africa. And I think the core element is animal these days that can take us into that systems and that is very economically viable for the people who farm with it. That's the first thing. I think then apart from that, what really helped a lot, and I think is a big part of the success we as a society and a breed see at the moment is we've really got good people joining, and it's
compared to what's going out in the market and what other one. Can you throw this? I'm going to throw one here next to me. While I'm on this, if we look at the way we breed animals today and show animals today, for a long time, a lot of these animals did not weren't productive animals. They might have won 20 shows and cow of the year, hell of an udder, but at the end of the day, she got an ICP of 700.
After at big shows. Over time, when it comes to showing, the judges have become a lot more practical. We're looking for functionally efficient animals. Some breeds even have indexes that the judge can ask the ring steward for. And these days we look at what that cow is producing, how she has produced, without even asking who the breeder is. We can ask those sort of questions and say, when did you last have a cow? What is the intercalving? So we want functional, efficient animals that can walk and can produce.
It's also very difficult to judge an animal based on if they overly fat, and to actually see what you should be looking for and the way they move and all those support and stuff. AJ, you do quite well at nationals every year, but to make sure animals have to travel quite a long distance to Bloemfontein when you do that. Managing animals for a show and then taking them back to the farm, how do you ensure because a lot
6, 7, 8 months that came from another show, we usually can start from scratch, I think, which really helps a lot. And then afterwards, we try to put as much roughage in the feed mixture as possible to make the adaptation back to the veld environment just better and easier. And if I can just add to Umyan there on the shows from a breed perspective, if I can speak on behalf of the Limousine Breeders Collective, must say we never, especially the last few years, I never got the feeling that some of our breeders is really just a good place for us to be at the moment. And I think from our side, we must really try to keep it in the right spirit and do it for the right reasons.
AJ, just before I let you go, I'm going to ask you one more question. You spend about the whole afternoon between the animals, walking up and down. You probably just finished counting whatever.
Cattle farmer. He's an excellent commercial cattle farmer first before he's a stud farmer. So I think and everyone that knows the operation here and how the LaRue family goes to work with their animals really knows that they are very good cattle farmers in the sense of the system. If you buy an animal that come out of the system, from the ICPs, the data that's been logged, it's a very good cattle farming system. On top of that, you get stud genetics, superior stud genetics, and I think Derek, I don't think I know, he's very passionate about the not only Derek and his team, but for us as a breed, I think we can be very proud on what will be on offer here tomorrow.
Thanks, AJ. I think if you could just pass the mic there to Derek. I think this is probably the most English ever spoken in this area. Derek, when you prepare for an auction like this, you're a maize farmer as well.
If you go and purchase time, then it becomes very important on exactly what you're purchasing, so that you don't have to go back and redo that. And I think when we address our stud breeding, and stud breeding is by all means not an exact science. There's a lot of chance involved in it, but I think a few years ago when we were doing this, somebody told me that you've got to have a feeling of what you're doing. And I think it takes a bit of time for you to understand exactly what you're dealing with, and to then get exact feeling of what you're dealing with. Because to understand what you do, I think then you're heading in the right direction.
Currently, we're sitting in quite a tough market, and that is not just agriculture, that is worldwide. I see in the UK they say they're now solid into recession. It's a worldwide thing. It's probably a little bit of COVID, a little bit of war, a little bit of everything, great politicians and all that stuff, just helping things along. Making sure you buy the right bulls in a breeding system as a commercial buyer. You need that little bit extra. You need that little bit more because the margins are getting smaller and smaller every year. The prices are slowly going up, but that little bit more profit at the end of the day.
Yeah, Tinas, when somebody asks me this question that you're phrasing now, I always tell them, as a little joke on the side, I tell them, the limousine breed is like a beautiful girl. You're going to get everything you want, but you're going to have to put a little bit in there. And I think the breed has a few special characteristics that it brings to the table. And if you're willing to work with that characteristic, the African breeds and the composite breeds, but also some of the European breeds. So we're fortunate that we can actually supply the entire market. And add to that the F94L profit gene that the limousine carries. That just gives us an additional 20% profit right there. That's why it's so beautiful to feed a limousine. You'll see them often at sale yards going for premiums. Because the guys buying them just know they're going to be in for money, and they're going to be in for money way above all of the rest. So if the industry deems them relevant and the industry deems them to be profitable, then the only question is, why aren't you using a limousine bull at this stage? And I think it's something that is very, very keen. If you have the ability to take that product, as Jan said, that should be industry relevant, and you can add that fleshing and a product that's capable of finishing quickly in the feedlots that we need for our specific market, then we just have to add a bit of AJ's flair and ensure that that product is relevant for Africa. I think if we can put all that together, then we've got a product that we can go to market with, because we supply what the market deems necessary. And I mean, it's incredible. Just give a few kisses and you'll get much more back.
I just want to quickly stop there. Jan de Jong earlier mentioned that you see a lot of the limousine breed being used in the dairy side of things in the UK. I think our farmers, our dairy farmers, might be missing something out here. But they should be coming here and buying semen by the dozens to add that little extra bit of muscle, that little bit of length. I think that's sort of something I think we might be missing in our industry from a dairy side, the guys that do terminal crosses in the dairy business.
Yeah, definitely, Tinas. I think the bull over there agrees with you 100%. He's definitely telling us that he is the boss here, not us. So, but it's definitely completely industry relevant. And as I said, all the African breeds, the synthetics, the composites, the dairy breeds, we've got a lot of animals these days being bred to the deep Kalahari, Brei, Olifantshoek. It's harsh areas. And if those animals can calve there in the veld without problem, and they can flourish, and they can do it with the dairy breeds and most of the African breeds that they're bred to, and they can do that and take them to market with a premium, well, that's easy science. We don't have to discuss that in length.
Basic economics. Yeah. Thanks, Derek. As jy daar vir meneer Stigling kan gee. I'm running out of easy questions now, so. Jan, thank you for joining us. You're farming in Botswana at the moment. Look like in Botswana, and what do you see here?
Thank you, Tinas. Appreciate you guys inviting me all the way from Botswana. I had to drive all the way here just for this interview. And back again this evening. Sorry, the auction is tomorrow. Thanks, Derek. Appreciate it. Yeah, shucks. We're not making enough money out of our cattle in extensive breeding. So we had to make a decision on what type of animal we're going to use for crossbreeding to put a little bit more meat in. And to tell you the truth, it was an easy decision. With the limousines, the much more breed, like Derek was saying, the F94 gene, it just helps us so much, and we're adding a lot more meat on our carcasses at the moment. And even our big abattoirs is really appreciating the quality of the meat that's coming out of the farmers that actually produce. Was struggling with the same problem because it was already sort of established here. And I think very, very quickly, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Mozambique, everybody is starting to realize that there's a huge opportunity for us to do better with our cattle. And so that's why I started with breeding with stud cattle as well. But then I quickly realized that, selling a stud bull in Botswana, there's maybe one other or two other clients. So my biggest market is always going to be the commercial farmer. That's always going to be the focus. And I think for the whole of South Africa as well, that we, I mean, like Jan was saying in the beginning, the way that the British breeds look like, with too much muscle and stuff like that. Now in extensive conditions in Botswana where they have to walk many kilometers for feed and even going back to water, it's very important that you have a bull that can walk. And obviously the softer muscle cattle is definitely the ones that's got the ability to actually walk distances as well. And obviously they put on a little bit more easier fat, and that's why it's so important for the limousine breed to keep on chipping away on for the commercial market as well. Obviously there's some top animals for the stud breeders as well, but yeah, so in sub-Saharan Africa, it's growing by the day. The amount of telephone calls that we get on a daily basis of people asking for bulls is amazing. Unfortunately, we have the FND from South Africa at the moment, so we can't export to Botswana at the moment. But that's putting actually more pressure on the Botswana breeders as well, and the Namibia breeders. So, but it's sort of a good problem to have.
Thanks. I quickly want to just, you export quite a lot of meat to Europe. Doing that means you work on a different grading system over there. It's not about, our system is a little different in terms of grading. It's about the softness and the quality of the beef. How does the limousine crosses and the beef rank in that particular area? And do you get the price that you want over there from the limousine side?
Oh, absolutely. On softness, definitely. We're right there with the top breeds. So there's no complaints at all. None at all. I think that bull agrees again.
Put him into the ring.
We should have, yeah. Yeah, so it's, but for us, I mean, our population, for instance, in Botswana is so small, we do not have a very big local market. So it's very important for us to export. And obviously with the export, you have to look into what that customer or that consumer needs. And that's why we're doing so well with the limousines over there.
Thanks, John. You can pass it there to the doctor so we can start with the real difficult questions here. Well, I'm going to call it overnight, but overnight is 5 years in the stud game. Have you seen an overnight change in the breed and where people are going?
Thanks, Kenneth. Derek and the Xourel team, thank you for the privilege to be here. And yeah, we've spent time with Derek since I think 2015. So it's quite a while, and we started working on the animals. And yeah, for sure, we actually could see those impact in a few years, and the few years that maybe.
Tomorrow I'll go to a few auctions, buy the top 3 females, flush the hell out of them with the 2 or 3 bulls. With some advice from one or two people with proven genetics. Do you feel that's sort of the way to go if you want to start today? Because the catch-up game is it just takes too long these days. Science just help you. You can buy from an AJ or a Derrick or whoever. Buy their best, use the best semen.
I mean, see what impact you have with just doing like AI with a specific bull semen that you buy. That's just a start, and it's already got a good impact on whatever. If you want to really go into the like building a stud or start a stud even, I mean that's an easy and a quick way to get where you're actually competing with your seller actually, say 4 or 5 years. I mean, if you're going to buy world-class animals from the breeders here, in 3 or 4 years time, you're going to have progeny that's going to be world-class. Even better because they started helping you selecting animals that can even improve the breed itself. And, yeah.
If you have to sit here and you have to advise a buyer on how to go about things when you walk through here and he wants to buy and he wants to flush, what are the important things from your side, from a, let's call it the science perspective, of what should you look at? What is the traps that you should avoid if you can? Because a lot of, I'm guessing a lot of guys have gone through. You guys made their own minds up before they got to you, made mistakes and expensive mistakes. What are those pitfalls that they can avoid?
Well, I first think don't just spend money if you want to spend money. I mean, you can really spend money on something else. Stop working on even just on a commercial farm, you have to keep that stuff in mind. I mean, if you're not going to be able to keep that sustainable, it's not going to be any profitable for you to even invest in whatever you're going to do. Doesn't matter in what breed you're going or what animal you're going to invest in.
Last question, more of a general, less limousine, but then from a general point of view, you work with a lot of breeds in the beef cattle industry come to in vitro. From your point of view, how healthy is the stock game at the moment? How's the breeds and the breeders looking?
The steps in reproductive technology, just like if they're doing more embryo work than we're doing AI work in South Africa, for example. So what's cattle population, about 15, 20 million in South Africa, approximately. But looking at the stud breeders in South Africa, I'm actually quite excited about it. There's a lot of progress getting into it and taking like new technology or just doing new stuff.
You said the limousine breed in South Africa is probably the most functional animal in limousine in the world. And when you walk through here, you sort of get that same idea. And I get it wherever I see limousines in South Africa, I can actually see. Well, I like the view of what I see here, what I see on Facebook and what other guys are doing. Do you have the same feeling? Do you think we are that far ahead in terms of what we do?
Yes, I think it's no, PJ, not that small anymore. But PJ, he's got the experience. He's seen cattle all over the world. I think our cattle in this country, a lot of our top breeders, they are up there amongst the best in terms of their breeding figures, the intercalving periods, those sort of things, the basic management. And basic management is what actually drives most breeds. Things like nutrition and disease control and biosecurity and things like that. And I think our chaps are amongst the top in the world, in all honesty.
I think that's a great way to sum up our discussion. Thank you very much, each and every one of you. It's been great. I've enjoyed it. I've learned quite a lot. And I think it's time for me to the limousine breed. I'm excited to see what's going to happen tomorrow. And to each and one of you, thank you for talking to us. And yeah, the guy next to me feels almost like